What is up, everybody? Spot a Nerd here. It is Sunday night, and I hope you're doing something that involves absolutely nothing, preferably television. So, yeah, day 25. We're going to get into some heavier topics, politics, the usual suspects that probably most of you will say, fuck that, I'm out. But actually, jokes aside, I do appreciate because if you go to my Rumble channel right now, that shit is going up like crazy. So I want to send a huge thanks to everybody that's watching, everybody that's listening. Don't know what happened to YouTube, but I think it's because we talk about things that they don't want to talk about. Basically, facts and truth. So, anyway, today we're going to get into some heavier topics, but I think it's meaningful. I was going to do video games because Sundays are technically video game days, but I figured these were too important not to discuss, and I kind of would love to get your 2 cents on it as well, but, there's a lot been going on this week, if you haven't been paying attention. Crazy ass winter storm. There have been Minnesota again, and again, and again. And then today, I could give 2 shits, and you might be going, "Well, then why are you even talking about it?" There's obviously NFL, and of course, the Seahawks are going to the Super Bowl. Yay, said folks that give a shit, because, again, you might be going, "Well, why are you even gonna talk about it?" Trust me, it'll make a lot of sense, because while you're giving a shit about football, your entire state is going to hell in a handbasket. So, yeah, just to be clear, I wanna make sure I make this very abundantly clear like I do in, gosh, I don't even know how many videos at this point, not even just these live ones we're doing for 2026, but just overall in general. This is in no way to poke fun at anybody, to disrespect anybody, to judge whatever you do, whatever your passions are, whatever your hobbies are. It's simply just to point out the obvious, and I have to take 0 credit for some of these topics we'll talk about, mainly around the idea that with what's going on in the political climate, whether you look at Minnesota, whether you look at any blue city currently experiencing rioting or protests, or even if you just look at Iran, where there are now estimates of 36,000 people have been killed during their own riots for their own freedom, while we somehow, for some reason, continue to fight to not have freedom, is just beyond me. But a good friend of mine sent me a interesting idea, quote, whatever you want to call it, is what's currently going on with allegedly leftism politics, progressive politics, what's going on in Minnesota, the riots, blah, 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 with ICE. Is it a holy war? Is it genuinely a holy war? Obviously not literally, because of course, if it was a holy war, all you'd have to do is look to any history book on the planet and know that has nothing to do with, religion or blah, 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 blah. But metaphorically speaking, could these riots, these protests, this violence that's happening, could you interpret it as a holy war? Maybe. That's not for me to decide. What is for me to at least express my viewpoints on it is, of course, just a little subtle, backdrop. This was supposed to be a poking fun at the right, quote unquote, the right conservatives, because apparently we view the situation, whether it's politics, whether it's Minnesota, as like a sports team, like our side's winning, their side's losing, da 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 da. And I can be very honest with you. I put it in the description, so I won't go too crazy with this. This is not sports to us. This is not a holy war to us. This is very easy. It's very simple. This is for the betterment of the American people. And that's what I think flabbergasts the majority of us that are using logic and intelligence to relate the situation to the fact that what's happening is you are literally seeing the destruction of a Democrat Party. Whether that's something that is, could you fully get rid of the quote unquote Democrat Party? I don't know what that is. That's well beyond my knowledge, well beyond my spiel. But what it ultimately comes down to is the enforcement of law. And I know that sometimes can be difficult for people. I'm not here to poke fun. I'm not here to judge. I'm simply here to point out some people need to learn a little harder in relation to the fact that what's happening right now is the result of the last 4 years under the Biden administration. When you let millions, I've said this 1,000 times, broken record, spot of nerd. When you let millions of illegal, undocumented people into this country, not only do you collapse its economy, but you simply cannot maintain stability, whether that's with your groceries, gas prices, housing, insert anything you can think of here. So, what's happening in Minnesota right now with these riots, the fighting, the horribleness, the deaths, unfortunately, is you really have to look at it and go, you realize this is taking place because of that, but also to better your own life. The ones that have an American passport, the ones that are American citizens. And it will go down. And I absolutely have no fear, no shame saying this out loud. This time in history will go down for decades in the psychological aspects of how is it you have so many people, paid or not, let's be honest, a lot of these people are paid to stir up chaos and blah, blah, blah. Just look at Don Lemon as an example. How is it you are literally fighting to keep illegal criminals, majority of them, if you look at the actual research behind some of these people that are being arrested, you are literally fighting for them, as in disrupting your own life, your literally your own living in a house, clean water, roof, warm heater, blah, 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 blah. And you're defending illegal immigration, to which, if it was actually maintained, would be betterment in your overall life, bringing costs down, bringing housing prices down, bringing groceries down, bringing gas prices down. Not even just alone making your life safer. Because again, a lot of these people are rapists, murderers, insert XYZ here. I mean, just look at the Ukrainian gal. I forgot. I mean, I know this is a totally random example, but just look at that. The guy had what, 14 felonies before he stabbed that girl? I mean, imagine if we upheld the law. So what it does, again, broken record, spot of nerds, what we do here, what it ultimately does come down to is what you're witnessing and why people are projecting it as a holy war is quite simple. Because if you actually are able to fix this problem, and I mean fix the illegal immigration problem, the Democrats, the left, insert XYZ in that regard, never wins again. Because we can already tell what Trump has done in 1 year to try and fix the mess that was created during the past administration. Imagine what you could do in 4 years. Imagine what you could do if you win the next election and you continue that journey where American lives come first. Take your hate aside. Take your phone out of it. I always refer to that where this is where the psychological aspect comes in of it's your phone telling you the fear and the chaos and the horribleness. And yet, if you just put your phone down and just thought for a moment, I have kids at home. I have a family at home. Why am I going out and defending illegal immigrants? You just for a one moment might think to yourself, "Oh, that's right. This is for my benefit." I actually genuinely, I'm not trying to be sarcastic or an asshole here. I do really hope people start realizing that. I know we're not seeing it, and I obviously, hence the title of this video, we're obviously clearly not learning anything because it continues. But here's the tip of the iceberg, the cherry on the top, and we'll switch the gears to the next winter storm topic. If you actually think about it, and I don't mean this literally or in a negative connotation, as the violence ramps up, and we've seen it. Let's be very clear. The Insurrection Act hopefully will be put in place any moment now. As it ramps up and goes and it escalates further and further, it is just proving the point of what I'm speaking to, that ultimately, at the end of the day, the quote alleged right, the conservatives, the ones that actually want the betterment of you and I and the American people, is coming to fruition. It's coming to reality. And that scares the shit out of the other side, because they know that in these first world issues that we have, where you're going out and protesting in your, what, some of these cars are easily $20 to $50,000 vehicles. Most of these people own homes, have families, easily have $1,000+ technology that they're screaming to the hilltops to try and say, look at me, look at me. You're not doing so hot. You're not doing so great. And I just hope, and I genuinely do hope you turn the page and you can come around a little bit to maybe even just the middle, meet us in the middle, just to kind of realize all of what you're doing, you're just endangering yourself, you're endangering others, and ultimately, we're trying to help you out. That's at the bottom of the barrel. We are simply trying to help you out. And I hope one day you see it. I really, really do, because we're not learning a damn thing. Look at this, switching gears, of course. I love doing the transitions that mean jack fucking shit, other than I try to pretend like I'm impressing myself. Look at the winter storm. I am not here, again, to be very clear, I am not here to judge people, what they're doing, how they're going through this ordeal or storm, whatever you want to call it. But I look at what I see from a social media standpoint, from the news, and it is simply rinse, repeat, recycle, or whatever the fucking repeat. Yeah, it's repeat, rinse, recycle. It is fear, 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 and then move on to the next discussion topic, whatever you want to call it. Now, I can actually speak to similar situation that is with this winter storm. Obviously, there are millions without power. There is obviously a lot of cancellations, flights, chaos, feet of snow where feet has snow has never been before. And you know what? That's gotta suck. It really does. But the world does move on. This isn't the first time something like this has ever happened before. I can promise you that. I remember years ago, Seattle, for I think it was like 2 weeks, we didn't have power. Sub-zero temperatures, snow covered everywhere. The entire state shut down because of it. But because everybody went to their phones, went to their social medias, panic, panic, panic. And of course, you have single families or whatever it is, single individuals purchasing thousands of dollars worth of stuff at the grocery store that they will never, ever need or use, all for a week or two of, albeit I'll give you credit, some horrible situations. I want to make sure I don't lower that kind of value, I guess, for what's going on. Like, again, sub-zero temperatures, no power, you're wondering about heat, pipes bursting, health. There are people that are dying. So I want to be very clear. I'm not denying the situation is terrible. I really am not. What I am giving shit though is this fear panic, this COVID related, like I've seen on some of these articles, like if you look at here, let me share this with you guys. So I was reading this article from USA Today. And yeah, look, 11 are dead. But let's not forget, and this is, I kind of, just to hopefully make my point come across. As of right now, there are estimates of 36,000 people killed in these riots in Iran. 11 have died in these snowstorms. I'm not saying one life is better than the other, or we should have a competition of who's has it worse. 36,000 versus 11. There are some priorities here. That's something I won't shy away from. There are some priorities there. These people are trying to fight for their own freedom. We are just dealing with a bad storm. And I want to make sure, again, I'm not discrediting the level of severity of this storm. I'm sure it is bad. But when you have the news feed, and I'm looking, I saw it, where was it? Let me show you guys. Check in on neighbors, yes, do that. Power outages, yes. Blah, 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 blah. Here we go. Most flights canceled since start of COVID-19 pandemic. And if you read this, it simply just goes on to that, quote unquote, as I've used in the past, fear porn, because it is obviously referring everything to COVID-19 levels. It is to get you to fear what is happening. It is getting you to fear that this is the end of the world. It is getting you to fear that you do not have the ability to think for yourself and take care of yourself. So look to us, look to your phone, look to your social media. We are the solvers of your problems. Let us take care of you. That is my point in that regard. So, to be clear, it's not about the severity, it's about the critical thinking skills of, yeah, you should stock up on some extra foods. Hopefully, you did it before this storm happened. Hopefully, you have some other means of getting heat. Yes, you should be checking in on your neighbors. Your phone shouldn't have to tell you these things. It's really not rocket science. As I've mentioned, somebody who's experienced something similar, we survived. You keep extra blankets in your home. You keep candles. Don't burn your house down. Be very careful, please. You obviously have food that you can just, like, bread, snacks. You don't, the fridge, let's be honest, it's so cold out. You just keep your food outside. It'll be fine. Trust me. And then check in with each other. Why is that rocket science? Nah, instead, we've got to throw fear porn down your throat. Get you to basically shit your pants. Jokes, metaphors, blah, blah, blah. Just because, again, God forbid you put your phone down for one fucking moment and think, what am I going to do next? Just sometimes this boggles my mind how we are not. It's understandably why, full transparency, human society is barely advancing right now. It's shocking. It really is shocking. I'm sure there are many great things happening. And look at AI and stuff like that. But sometimes you just think, and I know maybe I'm just being a pissy pant right now, and it's who I am. I call myself a realist. You can call me a pessimist, negative Nancy, whatever you want to do. But sometimes you just look at this stuff and you go like, am I the only one? Let me know. Seriously, in the comments. Am I the only one? And last but not least, of course, the NFL. The Seahawks are going to the Super Bowl. Whoopity doopity doo. I personally could give two shits, and we'll look at the. I did just a search of NFL. Let me show you guys real quick. Where was it? So I just Googled NFL, and of course, it popped up some of these articles. And again, I want to be very clear because a lot of you are probably going, "Well, if you don't care, if you don't give a shit, then why are you talking about it?" Because right around Seattle, if you're not familiar with Seattle, if you're not familiar with Washington, it is the most corrupt, most human wasteland where, I mean, literal excrement of humans everywhere. There are needles, there are poor, homelessness everywhere. There are so many issues that we are still dealing with to this very day, including the fact that we're still at $4.50 for fucking gasoline, just as one example. But football, 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 football. It's all about the football. These guys that are making hundreds of millions of dollars that are living in these mansions that don't give two fucks about you, and you can't even afford a ticket to these games. It's all about football. Even though right now I saw another article, I'll show you guys later, maybe another video. Supposedly the monorail system that basically Washingtonians had to fork over, I think it was around $149 billion, which they're still having to pay for and will having to be paying for the next 30 fucking years through your car registration, quote unquote. And I can speak to that because my own $600 registration, 517 of it was going to this quote transit system that I will never fucking use a day in my life. But football, y'all. We're going to the Super Bowl. Yeah. Who cares that your gun rights have been taken away to basically nothing? Who cares that you can't even afford to live in your own home because property taxes are so high that, quite frankly, it'd be cheaper for you to literally die? I'm not kidding you. Look at the actual Look at the actual research when it comes to property taxes here in the state. Look at the income tax. Some places around here, upwards of 10 to 11% income tax. But football, yeah. You've got homeless on every corner. You've got crime on every corner. This place, I mean, the roads look like it's the Roman times. Hope you got good suspension. Traffic, my God, it's a parking lot from day and night now. Doesn't matter what time of day it is. But hey, do you see that monorail system? Yeah, you can't use it yet. Nah, you can use about 40% of it, maybe by 2050. And by then, it won't even be usable. Let's be very real. It'll be trashed. It'll never pay for itself. But football, yeah, football. All right. Pretty sure you get my point. And yeah, we'll just leave it there. I hope you guys enjoyed. You're probably wondering, that's a very odd, interesting place to leave it on. But actually, I'm not going to leave it there. I'm going to give you one little positive spiel here. I today, being a day off, spent my day watching television and movies, and I wanted to give so much credit, and I'm going to do a review on it soon, but I wanted to show you guys something real quick here. Let's see. If you guys remember this, let me see if I can find it real quick. Oh, I should have had this up, but I did not, and shame on me for not having this up. I was watching, if you guys remember, back in 1998, there was Lost in Space. It was the first time we got a live action film, I think. I think that was when it first came out. They obviously brought a show out on Netflix, which was pretty badass. I'm not gonna lie to you. I thought it was actually pretty good. So I rewatched it today, and I'm not gonna lie to you, this movie kind of kicks ass. And if you think about it, I know it got completely dog pooped on in relation to the overall film, but if you look at the CGI, it was pretty remarkable for back in the day. So let's go ahead and we'll finish this up. Yeah, here, I think I can play. Basically, I'm looking for basically some sort of copyright or some bullshit like that. There was also another Super Mario Galaxy trailer out today, which looks fucking incredible. And you know what? We'll finish up on that one too. So let's see if I can get you guys just to show you how awesome this film really was, even though this was 98. So we're talking nearly, gosh, 30 years ago. I'm terrible with math. You have to forgive me. But let's watch this just to end on some lighter stuff, shall we? Here we go.
With intrepid, pioneering spirit, the Robinson family will journey to the distant world of Alpha Prime.
My crew will sleep away our 10-year journey there in suspended animation.
See you there.
Launch in 3 minutes.
She's all yours.
Control, this is Jupiter 1. The Robinsons are all tucked in. We are ready to fly.
Real quick, seriously, credit where it's due. I mean, this is 98. Like I said, this isn't obviously anything going to be remarkably out of this world, no pun intended. Comparing this to today's standard, that's pretty fucking good.
We require a more direct intervention.
The time has come.
Destroy Robinson family.
Environment hostile.
Wake up, damn you!
You're a damn spy.
You did this. If we can't go around the sun, then we go straight through it.
You can be thrown anywhere in the galaxy.
Anywhere but here. Initiate.
Where are we?
We're lost.
Their position is uncharted.
Hang on!
That's the smell of ghosts.
Their enemies are unknown. Their survival is uncertain.
Give my regards to Oblivion.
Danger, Will Robinson.
I just want you to know I love you, son.
The Robinson family will travel
I love you very much.
beyond the frontiers of adventure
Here we go again.
Showtime.
to find their way home.
Cool.
Like, it's fucking dope, right? Come on, y'all. It is absolutely incredible for the time, for the period. And I'm sorry, but if you really do go watch it again, I think it deserves a lot more respect than the absolute dog shit that it receives now or to this day or whatever it is. So let's wrap up this final spiel or thingamabob with Super Mario, because you know what? We all need a little bit of awesome. So God forbid these
Taxes
fucking
was
ads
so taxing.
go away.
Oh, you're here. Now, where's the troubled pipe?
I'm so playing my game, my Switch later.
Come on.
God, I love these movies. Like, these movies are so fucking awesome.
Yes, I am. People don't change.
Music, sound effects.
There's the problem. Hey. It's all right.
Who is this?
Yoshi.
Come on. So some dinosaur just shows up and he's now part of the group. Cool.
Hear me out right now. We're gonna end this. We'll end this episode. Mark my words. That shit is making $1 billion at the box office. No joke. You can just see that looks incredible, and I cannot wait to watch that in the theaters. So, yeah. Anyway, a little bit more positive note to end it on. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for watching, y'all. Laters.